Crew Nation, welcome back to another episode. Cruising in my car, going to the clinic. Look, I got this text message. Anyone can do that, by the way. 949-415-6056. I got this text message this morning from somebody who said, hey, you know what? And it doesn't matter what the job is. I'm applying for this clinical research position. And it's so hard. Like, there's 300 people applying for the same role. You know, I've watched your videos where you say it's way more people than you think, which is true. How do we do that? Like, how do we compete when it's so competitive? And the answer is you got to amaze people. You've got to amaze people. You got to leave them sitting there. They might not say it outright during the interview, but if they do, then you're doing something good. But afterwards, when you leave, they say to themselves, or they talk to their colleagues and they say, wow, this person, we've got to get them on board. And it's not easy to do. And this is how you stand out in a group of 300. And I guarantee you, if 300 people are fighting for the same role, let's say only 30 of them even know that that's how competitive it is. I think 3 of those 300 have the preparation, the skills, and the potential to amaze. So that's where you need to do. Like, you could play the numbers game and just apply to 20 jobs, get 5 interviews, and get 1 or 2 job offers. You can do that too. But you should make it a practice in your career, even when you're already experienced. And I mean, I try to do this myself as well. I don't do a great job at it, honestly. One of the reasons I do the videos and the podcast is that's kind of my amazing factor. That's like my wow factor. I try, but you need to be prepared. How you prepare for your interview says a lot about who you are as a potential employee. So how you prepare, how you do anything says everything about you. What does your resume look like? Does it have typos? Is it formatting issues? Does it look generic? Does your cover letter look generic? How do you prepare? How do you interview when you're actually there at the interview and they're asking you questions? Are you giving answers that are amazing? Are you showing your transferable skills? Are you bringing up scenarios from the past and how they can translate into the workforce, into the workplace today? Most people don't do that. Most people give the cliche answers. And that's why everything in life is a bell curve. There's the outliers, and then there's everyone in the middle, and everyone in the middle gives the cliche answers. Oh, I want to do what's right for patients. I'm passionate about this industry because I think we need to develop cures. You need to give specifics about that company. If you're interviewing for a biotech or you're interviewing for a CRO, you need to have done your due diligence on that company. Where are they in their company life cycle? What is the position that you are applying for? What are the responsibilities of that position? Have you talked to other people in that role, either at that company or other companies? Bring those conversations to the interview. If you're at a research site and you haven't looked at their website and you haven't looked at what studies they do, perfect example, Yuma Clinical Trials, it's a bell curve. The majority of people, even though they know they're coming in for a study coordinator interview, the majority of people did not even bother to look at what kind of studies we do, nor did they bother to look up the basics about clinical research. The typical answer was, when I asked them, so what do you know about clinical research? Oh, not much. Why don't you tell me about it? Is essentially what the response, the most common answer was. The people that got hired, even though they're research naive, and you can tell they went out of their way to research what research actually is. And they were prepared. And they tied it into, well, these are the studies you're doing derm and you're doing psych, and I'm really interested in seeing how research plays a role in those sectors because, and then they tie it into something personal to make it seem believable. The fact that they did that tells me so much about that person as a potential employee. And it's competitive. It wasn't 300 people for one role at my job listing, but it was like 30 to get one person, which is still competitive. So if you're looking at project management, if you're looking at CRA, if you're looking at in-house CRA, I mean, you're in the 50, 100, 200, sometimes 300 competing applicants. And they, even if 1% of them take it seriously to the point where they are trying to go out of their way to amaze the person on the other end, like, that's a tough scenario to be in. So you can't go in there. It's okay if you go in there nervous. Everybody expects nervous. The people we hired, 1 out of the 3 was nervous. But because they were prepared, we're okay with nervous. We're interviewers. We see nervous all the time. We don't see prepared all the time. And there's a difference between being prepared and being nervous. And interestingly enough, the more prepared you are, the less nervous you're actually going to be. So go in there, do your homework, do the work. Like, actually do the work. The reason why most people don't do this is because it's a lot of work. And the mentality is, why would I do work when I'm not getting paid for it? It's just an interview. Well, that's the attitude that's going to get you jumped over. Thank you very much for your time. We'll let you know how things go. And you'll never hear back from that employer again. Why? Because you're not doing anything to amaze them. And why? Because you're doing everything that's the same as everyone else. So you're no different. Keep that in mind. Go in there prepared. This is why I say networking is important. Network with people that have your job. Follow them on LinkedIn. Follow them on Instagram. I don't care where you follow them. Follow them in my comments on the live streams. Find them at SOS. Find them at conferences. Ask them what it's like at their work. Ask them what are some challenging situations. Be in those conversations so that when you get the interviews, you have something to talk about. So you're not going in without any idea of what the job is, much less what the company is. I can go on forever about this. To me, it's so obvious because I'm on the other side. I'm the employer looking to hire. But I can see how you could be blind to this if you're on the candidate side. And for the few that watch this, if you implement this, it's going to work for you. It's more work, yes. A lot more work, yes. It gets you out of your comfort zone, yes. It's work that you don't necessarily have a return on investment because there's no guarantee that even if you do amaze them that they're going to hire you. But it's the habit that you're developing. This skill set to be more prepared than the other person. The skill set that you're going to learn to be more amazing and better than the competition is going to serve you for the rest of your career. Like, subscribe, comment, share, Guru Nation. Bye-bye.